Hey everyone, Dry Fire Monday, getting better with our firearm skills every day. And we're going to talk today about last week's contest, about how great a week we had in our Dry Fire app through the Manus X, a challenge for this week to get fast because you're going to need to be fast, and a willingness to train and come out and train with us in one of our classes, and another giveaway coming up. Want to be a better defensive shooter in 2018? Join the ASP Dry Fire Challenge by joining our Facebook group and by subscribing to the Active Self-Protection Extra channel for weekly lessons on getting better with your defensive firearm. So how'd your week do this week? Getting some dry fire in or getting to the live fire range? I had a pretty good week this week. I didn't get a whole lot of dry fire presses, but I did get to the range twice. We filmed some videos. You saw the first shots through the P30 SK that I had. A couple other ones, had some time with a friend a little bit earlier, in the week as well. And so I got about 500 rounds of live fire. And I can tell you that in my own personal experience and estimation, doing all the dry fire work is definitely making me a better and faster live fire shooter. So we had a bunch of people do really well in the app as well. We had 23,000 presses for the week in our dry fire app. User Joe Face, 1,700 some odd reps. Holy cow, bro, incredible. Best benchmark, 10-shot benchmark group for the week was Active Self-Protection's Director of Sales, Neil Widener. Neil had an incredible week this week and had a 10-shot benchmark of 98.2. Go in the app, friend Neil, you can see it. 98.2. Are you kidding me right now? I even talked to him about it a little bit. He said, man, it might have been a fluke. He was having a hard time breaking 95 other than that. But I just can't even fathom a 10-shot string of 98.2. If you saw at the USCCA Expo a couple weeks ago, I shot a 96.1 on the CO2 for 10 shots. And that was a pretty good set for me. So Neil, props to you, bro, 98.2. So last week's question was about how many reloads in an emergency context for CCW gun holders, CCW gunfights that we've seen on the Active Self-Protection channel. We got over 100 answers. Everybody was answering the question. And almost everybody got the right answer and kind of the wrong answer at the same time. So the right true answer is I have seen 0 actual CCW reloads that affected the fight. But I have seen 2 times where somebody in a CCW style context, not on-duty law enforcement, that actually reloaded their gun that took so long that the fight was over. So I would have accepted either 0, which is probably the true answer, or 2, and most people said 0 who answered. So there was over 100 right answers. So here's how I picked the right one. Several people have been paying close enough attention to say that not only have we seen 0, but that's why I generally, because I carry a gun with 16 capacity, don't carry a reload for my primary firearm. And a couple people pointed that out. The first one to do so is our winner this week, and that's user Sean Everingham. So Sean, send me an email, john@activeselfprotection.com, or PM me on the YouTube channel, and I will get you a sticker as well. So this week's contest for an Active Self-Protection decal that I will send to you is a simple question. Against multiple attackers, I say this when we do the Survive the Fight tour all the time. Against multiple attackers, I say that people generally fire fewer shots in CCW gunfights against multiple attackers than against single attackers. And if you know why I say that and my explanation for how that is, put it in a comment. Best explanation will win an Active Self-Protection decal, and I'll ship it to you next week. Okay, so let's get to this week's improvement, shall we? Last week we were working malfunction clearance. If we had a problem in the gun, remember we were going out there, we were having a good time. Okay, so we get our dry fire shot, we got a click instead of a bang. Of course, we want one in dry fire, but when we're working on that, we then run over the top, get that gun back in the fight by getting underneath, getting a good two-handed grip, getting another feel for it, and going after it. And we can get some great reps in doing that pretty easy in our dry fire. So today we're gonna work on that two-handed grip with speed. I wanna start working on speed a little bit because it's one of those Pareto principle things that if we have to defend ourselves with a firearm, we're gonna need to be able to do so quickly. Now, of course, we wanna do so accurately. First person to put shots on target almost always wins the defensive gunfight, but we have to do so fast. It is a competition, someone is trying to kill us, and therefore we have to be fast and accurate. And the only way to build speed, once we've gotten the mechanics down, is to allow the myelination in our brain to automate the processes and actually do them quickly. You know, you've heard the adage that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Well, I get where people are coming from, but that's kind of not true. Slow is slow, fast is fast. You got to let your brain start moving fast and driving your body quickly so that you can get after it. So that's what we're going to work in this week's drill. Now, of course, you start off by going slowly and doing it correctly. And here's how we're going to do that. We're going to start with our gun in our dominant hand. We're going to keep our non-dominant hand here on our chest. Now, whether we have cleared a cover garment or we're open carrying because we're on duty or whatever, we keep this hand up and out of the way. Some people do the belly. I prefer the sternum because when I clear my cover garment, I want to come all the way up here. Gun comes up. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to join hands. We're going to use that Judy chop, Mike Seeklander's Judy chop. Drive the gun out, get a good side picture, and get a good trigger press. Then once we're done with that, we've got still a good side picture. Now we're going to bring that gun back, and that can be a nice and slow thing. Back away from our sight picture to a high compressed ready, reset the trigger, and reset ourselves. Now, you're going to start with 5, 10, 15, 20 reps every day that you don't go super fast on that. So, okay, fine. I come Judy chop, drive the gun out, feel it, get a good trigger press, bring the gun back in, reset my trigger. Back to here again, drive the gun out with a good trigger press, and go to work, okay? Bring it back, get in here. Now I got to start working on speed, and what I'm working on is, the reason that I love the Mantis unit is it will give me an objective measure of my muzzle velocity at the moment that I shoot. So what I'm trying to do here is, as I drive the gun out, keep my muzzle level so that I get a good trigger press, and that was a good trigger press. And I can see that with my dot, or if you're using iron sights, I can see that with my front sight. Having the Mantis unit gives me an objective measure, so I can look every single shot. Now, I was hoping that I could record that today. Frankly, my iPad croaked, so I can't record and show you a screen recording and all that stuff. I just don't have the technology today because my iPad croaked. I'm sorry. But you'll have to trust me, I'm still recording that. That's what I'm going to be doing this week. So I got here. Again, I'm going to two-hand grip, drive the gun out, get a sight picture, and get a good trigger press where I didn't get a lot of motion in the gun. Now, keep that second sight picture, bring the gun back here because I'm myelinating, reset my trigger. Okay, now when I'm keeping going, after I've done a few of these, maybe I do 5 at a real slow pace every day. Then I'm going to try to pick the pace up, get the sight picture, get it out there. Now, of course, when I do that, it's going to not be as still because I'm working faster, but I want to try to work at the pace that I can maintain good stillness when the shot breaks, so that it goes where I want it to go. So again, if I'm here, I drive it out, I get a good sight picture. Not bad, that was okay. I could do better than that. Bring it back in, reset. Okay, from here, get it out there, good, felt good. You know, my sight was just a little left what I wanted, but it was good stillness, so I consider that a good rep. Bring it back in, reset my trigger, come to here, drive the gun out, see it, and go. That was a good picture all the way through. Everything worked there. Bring it back in here because I'm myelinating a good presentation. And what that'll do is that if I'm seeing my sights adequately, and if I do this slow and I'm seeing the sights, yep, there it is, verify and get the trigger press, then I'm teaching my brain to do that correctly and doing it the same in reverse to reset my trigger. So then that way when it's time to go for real, I can get it out there and get a good sight picture and really drive it out there in my first shot. Goes where I want it to go. Now, if you want to add a little bit of stress, you can do this in the Mantis app in your compressed surprise break function. And I really like the compressed surprise break. Now, usually that's used for, I drive the gun out there, it gives me a beep, and I should be on target with my trigger. A beep, click. But you can also use that for a little bit longer, if I reset my trigger, to go, okay, beep, drive the gun out, and go. I'm going to use a timer because, again, my iPad croaked, so I'm going to actually just stick this guy in here to get a random beep that gives me a go signal. So let's kind of watch here as I'm starting to do this. Now, was that a great one? No, it wasn't the best trigger press in the world. Let's see it again. A little bit of motion there. Let's try it one more time. That was the right one. That was a really good one. Felt pretty good about that. Little tactical turtle. Let's try it again. Stay upright. Yep, like that one a lot. A little high, a little higher than I really wanted. That shot would have gone a little higher than I anticipated, but it was within the window. I'm okay with it. Try it again. Yes, Now I had a little bit of left-right motion there. So you see how I'm able to diagnose as I watch what my sights do. But doing this and doing it quickly and getting it out there and seeing what it does gives me the opportunity to start working quickly. And that's what I want us to do. Make sure you're doing all your safety with your dry fire, clearing your firearm, keeping ammo out of the room, doing all the things correctly, pointing it in a safe direction. But get 200 reps this week of getting that compressed break out there, getting that feel, keeping that there, and then moving faster and faster and faster to get better and cover your asp.